Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to CISO Thursdays. Our topic is breaking into cyber. Chris is not here. Chris and Renee are not here today. I am their, I guess, sixth man off the bench. And my name is Professor Roger. We have a great guest coming in. Well, that'll come in a couple of minutes. How is everybody doing? See everybody coming in. And so, great day today. All right, we're going to start up in a few minutes. Make sure I have all the controls right. Okay. All right, so we're going to talk with Francois. He is the owner of the Americana Institute. And cool, let me bring him in. Okay. Oh, hi Gina. How you doing? All right, so let me bring Francois in. Hello, Francois. How you doing?
Hey, Prof, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Oh, you professional. You got your little mic and stuff.
Yeah. Time to upgrade, man. When you're giving back to the community, you got to upgrade some things.
Yes, man. You look like a podcaster. I got a little mic too. I got a little mic.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. How you been?
All right, all right. Welcome. Uh, Thanks for coming to CISO Thursdays. Our topic is breaking into cyber, which I know that topic is dear to your heart.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. At the end of the day, that's why we do what we do, man. Helping people break into this industry.
Yeah, yes, yes, definitely. Let me welcome some of the guests. Welcome Gina. Welcome Alex. Where is everybody from? Where are you from, Francois?
Right now, I am in Atlanta, Georgia. That's where I
Atlanta,
am streaming
Georgia.
from. Atlanta. Yep.
Yes, yes, yes. Georgia is a state in the southeastern. Yes, definitely. Okay. While everybody's rolling in, introduce yourself.
Sure. Hey everyone, those who don't know me, my name is Francois B. Arthanas. I am like a cybersecurity instructor. I also founded a cybersecurity training company known as Africana Institute of Technology. I also work for ISACA, for those who are familiar with the CISM certifications, the CISA certifications. That's from ISACA. So I work for ISACA as a cybersecurity training engineer. So I get to create labs, get to troubleshoot them, the labs that they include into those certifications as well. And on daily today, I teach with the Africana Institute of Technology. We have some boot camps and the certification preparation courses. And many times when I'm not busy doing those things, I like to give it back to the community, just talking to folks. I try to help them break into the industry.
Oh, that's awesome. When did you start your institute?
So the institute is a few months old. We started at the beginning of this year. Again, that's after like 7 years working in the industry, teaching for colleges, universities, different boot camps, programs. And I noticed that there are some things that I can maybe improve on. And at the beginning of this year, that's when I said, you know what, it's time to take the leap and start the institute.
Ah, that's good. That's good. I'm going to post the link in the chat so everybody could check it out.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
All right. And I know you have a lot of credentials. You've been, tell me some of your credentials.
Sure.
Some of your.
Sure, yeah. Credential wise, I probably should have said all that, at the beginning, but so I went to school just like everybody else. I got a bachelor's degree in network management. Then I went on and got a master's degree in cybersecurity. And as far as the certifications goes, because almost everybody in cyber they tend to have certifications. I have quite a few of them. A lot of them are from CompTIA, so Security Plus, Network Plus, Linux Plus, CISA Plus, CASP Plus, like you name it. Like I have all the not all of them. I don't have Pentest Plus, but I have quite a few of CompTIA certifications. And they have some other certifications from EC Console, CEH, and the like, right? So I do a lot of teaching, like I said. And one thing that I learned early on was that universities won't let you teach unless you're certified in that particular certification. So that's one of the motivation why I got the certifications as well.
Oh, yes, yeah, that's right. You're a teacher. We teach that some places together. So yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. Um, yeah. So what is your feeling about certifications?
Yeah, great question.
Your view, or is it important? You know, that ongoing debate. Is certs important? Do you need certs to get a job?
Yeah, great question. So the way I put it is certifications will serve as a testimony to your skill set. So if you come to me right now and you ask me, okay, I want you to hire me, my first question is, how do I know you know what you're talking about? The certifications kind of serve as a testimony to your skill set. So having them really doesn't hurt at all, right? It doesn't hurt at all, especially if you don't have any other credibility. Like if you're just trying to break in and maybe you have a degree in some other field, you don't have anything in cybersecurity. I think certifications are really good. But one thing that I'll also mention is that don't just focus on just getting the certification. That's another thing that I've seen for the past few years is that folks will just be focusing on certifications, and then they get all these certifications, and it's hard for them to get a job, and it just it's kind of a mess because when you look at the certification industry, some of these people are also in the business of to make money. I like when I took my CEH, it was like $900 for like the voucher. Now I think it's like over $1,000, right? So it keeps going up. So what I said is get the certifications, but just get the two or three, the ones that are highly recommended, highly valuable, and then just focus on developing your skills.
Mhm. For those breaking into cyber, what do you recommend? As you said, two or three, what do you recommend they should take?
Yeah, so definitely Security Plus. I highly recommend Security Plus, and the reason is this is a all-rounded certification. Right? I normally, when I'm teaching Security Plus, I call that a survey class. One of the reasons is because you get to learn everything. When I say everything, I'm talking about they teach you the entire cybersecurity industry. Doesn't mean you are gonna do all of it, right? Security Plus is gonna kind of introduce you to all these different topics. Then you can pick which one you want to focus on. So definitely Security Plus
Okay.
will be the go-to one. The next one will based on like your focus, like what you want to focus on. Because Security Plus will introduce you to all these topics: instant response, forensics, ethical hacking, blue team, red teaming, you name it.
Mhm.
Then it will be more okay. I want to focus on the cloud. Then let's get the certification of the cloud. I want to focus on a red teaming. Then let's go get the OSCP. I want to focus on a blue team. Then let's get the CISA or another cert that will take you into that path. So that will be certification number 2, will be based on what you want to focus on. And then certification number 3, it's always the CISSS, the CISSP.
Oh, oh, the big dog.
The big dog. Yep. Yep.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so Security Plus, you say should be the first one everybody focus on.
Yes.
You have a Security Plus. How hard was it to get that cert? Let's see if there's any questions in. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll make sure that he'll answer that too.
Sure. Yeah. So Security Plus, you see, another issue that I've seen is that people get these devices where, oh, you want to get into cybersecurity, therefore go for the Security Plus. But cybersecurity, it's not a foundation career, right? It's not something that you can get started in. You have to know some other things before you can jump into cybersecurity. So it's hard if you just come out of nowhere and then jump into cybersecurity. And I've seen some boot camps programs do kind of make that mistake. When I used to teach for some of these, they will give me someone who doesn't know much about IT, and then maybe they've heard that cybersecurity is where all the jobs are, that's where all the money are. They just want to jump right in, then they jump into Security Plus. And it was really hard to teach these people because Security Plus, it's not like a um foundation certification you should jump right into. Is a foundation certification for security, but it's not a foundation certification for anyone to just jump right into. So what I recommend, Roger, is get some of the basics or get some of the foundation first. So understanding how computers talk to each other, understand computer hardware and software. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to security, there is like we are all just securing the basics, right? You are securing the hardware, you're securing the software. In fact, that's like the number 2 rule of cybersecurity is know your hardware, know your software, because you are never going to secure something you don't know. And if you don't know that it exists, it's like, okay, how are you going to be able to secure that? So jumping into Security Plus, yes, but definitely note the foundation first. Now there are certifications like Network Plus, CCNA, A plus, that will give you that foundation. Uh, when I got started, I went the traditional route where you go to college, you get all these basic certifications. But now, what I recommended to students is that get the knowledge, but don't get the certification. All right, so get the knowledge of A plus and get the
Mhm.
knowledge of a Network Plus, then jump into Security Plus.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So coming from a school, that's different because I know you would make money off of them going down that path. But you suggest that instead of going for the cert, just go for the knowledge.
Yes, because at the end of the day, that's what they're gonna hire you for. It really kills me to see someone who just collected all these certifications
Yes.
and then they don't have a job. It's like we are 4.1 million shortage, in cybersecurity right now, according to CIS Square, the folks who came up with the CISSP.
Right.
So if we need all these people, how come you don't have a job? And what I notice is it really comes down to 3 things, right? One, either you only focus on certifications, and when someone asks you to maybe do an nmap scan, you have no idea what they're talking about, right? So you don't have the practical skills, which is
Mm.
another issue. A third thing is that you don't know how to market yourself, right? It's like you can be the best at anything, but if people don't know you know that stuff, then how do they hire you?
Mm,
So it comes down to those three things. Yes, definitely get certifications because that's
mhm.
how people know you know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Second, put in the work over practical. So go get some hands-on experience. And nowadays, it's a lot easier. You can spin up a virtual machines. There's all kind of a range forces online where you can participate in. So get some hands-on skills. Then third, start contributing. Right, volunteer. Go online on LinkedIn. Start sharing. Hey, this is what I'm learning. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. People pay attention to that. Hiring manager pay attention to that.
You
Uh,
said volunteer?
yeah, volunteer.
Mm,
Volunteer. When the
that's
professor
interesting.
when the professor
Interesting
Roger
approach.
is teaching, volunteer. Yep.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You don't hear that. And you mean volunteer for what exactly?
So volunteer for anything that's related to security. So what that means is when I'm teaching, I had this a lady. She volunteered to become like a teaching assistant, a TA, and when she did that, it's literally like it opened the door for her. Right, start seeing some other opportunities that open up because she's involved in the community. She's learning. She's doing that. She's going that extra mile. So if there are opportunity to volunteer, do it. There's a lot of them online now, especially. Uh, but so that's how you will make the connection, and then that's how you will kind of get that experience that we're talking about.
Oh, that's awesome. Let me just recap that. So one, you said get the certs. Of course, security plus to start off with. Second is hands-on skills. Now, how would they get the hands-on skills? What do you suggest for that?
So the hands-on skills now it's a lot easier, right? It used to be in the old days where you will have to basically buy a computer, physical hardware, install Kali Linux, and then start from there.
In the old days, that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah. But now it's a lot easier, right? So you can go to TryHackMe, go to Hack the Box, Range Force. There's all kinds of hands-on platforms online, or you can build one up from scratch. Spin up a VirtualBox, spin up VMware, and install Kali Linux and start playing around with the different tools. That's how you will get that experience. And then I always recommend that if you can get the opportunity to, like, again, back to volunteering, to work for someone for free. When I say to work for someone for free, it's like find like these people that are working in the industry and then ask them, hey, is there anything that you're working on that I can help you? Right. I'm trying to get experience. And I'm trying to learn as much as I can. I want to give you a hand if you have any security, project that you are working on. So that's part of the 2 and 3 of volunteering and getting that hands-on experience.
Oh, that's awesome. And then the third one, you said volunteer for any cyber security related organization. All right.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a volunteer, but it's more of like marketing yourself.
mm,
I, I've seen these resumes where I'm like, Jesus, like what's going on here? So you got to know how to tell people that you know what you're doing, or at least you're learning this stuff. And one way of doing that is, like I said, volunteering. Then share what you're working on, like share your progress on LinkedIn. If you can create, let's say, like a GitHub account and start writing, small blogs, of telling people, hey, this is how I use Nmap, and then share that on social media. All those things are really great, and they're gonna kind of market you, if that makes sense.
yes, yes. Makes a lot of sense. You mentioned LinkedIn. How important is LinkedIn?
Oh, LinkedIn is super important. LinkedIn is very important. If you're not on LinkedIn and you're watching this, maybe let's say from YouTube, you should get on LinkedIn. That's the social media for professionals. I have not seen anybody that goes on LinkedIn for nonsense, right? Everybody there, they're professional. probably should say everybody, but a handful of the people that I've met, they're professional, um, and they're willing to help go that extra mile. Heck, I'm telling you, when I was just getting started, I remember reaching out to the guy who created a Metasploit, and he got back to me. Right, I went on LinkedIn and be like, "Hey, his name is I think HD Moore." I was like, "Hey, sir, I'm trying to do this. I don't know where to begin. I know you're a creator of a Metasploit, and by the way, respect their time because they don't have the time." So I was like, I know you're busy, but even if you have 1 minute to respond, I would like to ask you if you were to start all over again in cybersecurity, how would you do it? And he got back to me with a bunch of different nuggets, like from A to Z. You should do this, you should do that, you should do that. Then I started implementing some of those things as well. So LinkedIn is super important. You get to network with people. And remember what they said at the end of the day is about who you know and not what you know.
Oh, that's great advice. Great advice. Uh, and let me post your LinkedIn so everybody could join you on LinkedIn. Do you mind
Oh, not at all. Not
if
at
I
all.
give you some LinkedIn friends?
Not at all. We're we're always everywhere giving advices, helping people. Again, we're not. We got here because some folks help us, and
Yes, most definitely.
I always tell people if I can even help one person break into cybersecurity, that's a win for me. Right? That feeling that you're feeding your family because of the things that I taught you. By the way, that's why I teach. It's really fulfilling.
Okay. And I see you got your Africana Institute of Technology T-shirt. Am I getting one?
Uh, you are more than welcome. Yeah, yeah. Anytime, anytime.
All right, no problem. So, how do you see the job market? Right now, IT is on a hiring freeze, and all these people are getting laid off. But yet, on the other side of the story, you hear that there's hundreds of thousands of jobs unfulfilled. All right, what is going on? What's the real deal?
Yeah, it's funny you ask that because there was this statistics that I was looking at it, I think a few days ago, that says that from now until 2030, cybersecurity is gonna grow roughly around 33%.
Hmm,
So there is no sign of cybersecurity slowing down anytime soon.
that's
Uh,
interesting.
yeah, and when you look at it, the data actually makes sense. When you look at it, now they're doing what? They're doing Internet of Things, right? IoT. They're bringing these self-driving cars online. They're bringing refrigerators online, microwave on. Like everything is gonna be having an IP address. That's a lot of jobs for us, right? So the job market is there, of course. With the way things are with the economy, why not? There are some other industries that are getting hit, but I haven't seen that in cybersecurity. It always have been uh these people they're looking for like that unicorn, right? I've seen
Right.
some job posts where they're like, oh, we need someone who can do security analyst and who have a CISSP. And then you they're like, okay, who wrote that job description, right? Because that
Right.
doesn't make any sense,
Exactly.
right? So, but if again, what we've seen, the people who succeed in this or who break into the cybersecurity, they do those three things and they do them well. They get certified, they get the hands-on experience, and then they market themselves. So if you know what you're doing and then you have a piece of paper that says you can do it, and then you can prove it to them that you can do it, then you know how to present yourself during an interview, you have a really good job resume, you have a really good cover letter, there's no way you shouldn't be getting jobs.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a lot of openings.
Okay, that's good. That's good hope. All right.
Yeah.
A lot of people are getting frustrated. There was a comment on LinkedIn that someone said that, a lot of people are getting searched. Now there's nobody, now there's no jobs for them. But you're saying different that there is jobs out there.
Yes, and just don't take my word for it. Go on LinkedIn and just type in Security Plus. There's at least like, if not 20,000, there's like at close to that number that comes up. I did this, I think, like a few days ago.
Mm.
Jobs are there, but again, having a certification, it doesn't mean you will get a job. I've seen this, time and time again, where people are like, oh, they come to some of the boot camps, right? Mind you, a boot camp is like 5 days, right? 5 days, we're just crushing things. We're just pumping all this thing into your brain, hoping that you're going to pass the certification.
Right.
But after you've passed the certification, it's like you probably have forgotten about 70% of everything, right? Try to be real here. So the thing is, just getting that certification is not enough. And I don't know who's giving people advice is that once you have a security plus, you are basically qualified to do some kind of a security job. It's not like that, right? It's not like that. The other thing, you got to be patient, right? People are being told, oh, the starting salary in cybersecurity, it's like 70, $90,000 a year.
Right.
Well, I mean, you just had like a 1 week of training. Like, can you just start making that much money with 1 week of training? So it's like it doesn't work like that, right? You got to be patient, and you got to do it the right way, right? Don't try to rush on anything. Um, and then you got to look at who are you taking the devices from. I tend to just take devices from people who are actually doing this stuff instead
Mhm.
of these YouTubers, right? Anybody can just search a few things and make a video for the purpose of getting views.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. So yeah, be patient.
yeah.
Um,
Be patient.
yeah. Sometimes when we're on our job journey, we don't have a lot of patience, or some of our patience has ran out. you know. So you're right. Have some patience. Very good. Ve- Very good advice. So
Yeah, yeah. One other thing that I'll add to that, and this have happened to me personally, is that it gets hard, especially when you're desperate. You really want to get the job. You really want to feed the family. But what I notice, and this is from personal experience, is that if you really try to just develop your skills, the money will come, right? The money will definitely come. I've seen that. So you got kind of to reverse that psychology of where you're like, okay, I need to be making this much money. What you got to start doing now is uh, think about the skills that you can develop. All right, how can you make yourself better? Because once you are better, like I'm trying to tell you, once you are better, once you know what you're doing, people will hire you and they'll be more than happy to pay you whatever you deserve.
yes, that's great advice. Oh, you see our buddy there, Kevin Foster. How you doing? I don't know why he put senior there. He outruns all the young guys. I don't know why he's Kevin J. Foster Senior. He is like a junior. But he said if cybersecurity is everyone's job, any position in IT is cybersecurity. Pick one. Yeah, very good advice. Very good advice. Okay, so
Absolutely. And to add it to that, a lot of the people that got started there are other people that are in cybersecurity. A lot of them did not start in cybersecurity, right? I started in help desk. I was doing help desk for our local, schools, right? These schools. So that's how a lot of people start. But it doesn't mean that's where you should start. But again, a lot of the people that are in cybersecurity started with these other network engineer or system administrator, help desk, and then they transition into cybersecurity because when they're doing security, they're securing those things. All right. Which
mm,
is why I said you can't just jump into security. You got to know some other things. What are you securing? And these other positions introduce you to those things as well. Great advice.
right, right. Thank you. Uh, yes, thank you for that, Kevin. So, what can I do to get the hands-on? You mentioned hands-on, practical, right?
Hmm.
What can someone starting out, someone breaking into cybersecurity,
Hmm.
I see a lot of people lost at that point. Security Plus is easy. It's, you go to CompTIA and they'll map out everything for you. But to get the hands on, where do I go from there? Some people get lost.
Yeah. So what I've been recommending to students, you do it. You do this, and this is what I did a few years ago. Go to Indeed or go to job search engines, and then search for that job that you want. If it's a SOC analyst, search for a SOC analyst, and then go in the description. Look for the skills that they're looking for. And what I tell everyone is do that for at least 5 jobs, and then pick those skills that keep coming up. So, for example, with the SOC analyst, they might want someone who knows how to use a SIEM, right? Something like Elk or Splunk. Well, if that comes up in all of the 5, now you know that's a skill that you need. And then if they looking for Nmap, Wireshark, now you know those are the skills that you need. Then once you got a list like 5 skills of what they're looking for, then there's all kind of a free resources online. Then you start searching on who's demonstrating those things and try to put those things into practice. One last thing I've said would be if there is if there's a community online, try to join that community. There's a lot of them. There are a lot of people there are where you are, and there are people that are mentoring them. So join the community, join these people that are in the field already, and then tell them, hey, look, this is where I want to be. These are the things that I am learning. How can you help? And then if there are other people that are doing the same thing you're doing, maybe do like a capture the flag, like a CTF, or maybe come up with a group study or something, right? So there are different ways of developing the skills. What you want to do is you got to develop the skills that actually matter, because for example, I've seen people that are just getting started and they're learning Python. And I'm sitting down, I'm like, okay, you can use Python in cybersecurity. You can use Python to automate stuff, to do some automation. But if you're just getting started, you're not going to be automating anything. So it's okay to put that on hold right now. Learn the actual skills that you needed to break into the industry. And what I've seen online, a lot of people are not doing a great job at that. If you look at the labs for Security Plus or one of these other things, it's like it's everywhere, right? They're teaching you a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, and that's okay. You can be getting that, but also on your own time, go to these job searches, find those skills that the hiring managers are hiring for, and then just practice those.
Yeah, I see that. Why do you think that is, that people are learning skills that are far more advanced than a beginner?
You know what they said. There's no such a thing as a bad student. It's just like a bad instructor or a bad teacher. I think when you don't know what to do, anything goes. Right? People that are ahead of you, they're telling you should do this, and you're like, okay, let me do that. Right? But that's why I said if you're going to be getting advices from these people you've never met online, you at least need to kind of know who they are, in a sense that you can trust their advices, right? Some folks might be saying stuff that maybe they've heard other people saying it, or maybe they have not have lived those things themselves.
So Gina said, right, and Gina's from Jupiter. Right, welcome, Gina. I wonder what the time zone is over there, right? She said, when people want to transfer to cyber, I tell them figure out what cyber about your current job first, and I can laterally move you with your current industry way before putting you into something new. So she's saying you could transition in the job that you're at. What do you feel about that? Thank you, Gina, for your comment.
Yeah, Gina, that's brilliant. Again, we tell students that all the time. If you are working for a company, right now, if you are working for a company, you should do what Gina just mentioned, right? Figure out like what is the IT, if they have the security department. If they have the security department, figure out who these people are, and then start offer them service, right? Start asking them, what are the projects that you're working on? How can I help? Because you know what they said, a lot of these jobs we see on Indeed, there's so many of them that don't get to Indeed, that people just picked up by doing the same thing that
Uh-huh.
Gina is recommending. So what you want to do, whatever company that you're working for, find the cybersecurity department, the people that are in cyber. Tell them how you're interested. You're interested in cyber. Start volunteering. Again, go back to that volunteering thing. Ask
Yeah.
them the things that they're working on and they don't want to do. Then spend that extra time. It could be you know after work, right? Stay after work, after your shift, to stay and help them with whatever they got going. I can almost promise you, if they have an opening, oh, they're gonna come to you first.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And we have another all-star in the audience, Anthony, right? He said, I'm teaching a man intro to the help desk course right now and emphasizing the importance of the role and the benefit to their future. The help desk gets frontline insight into many problems IT analysts deal with. It's not entry level, it's century level. Okay, I never heard that before. That's pretty good. Century level.
I like that.
What do you think about um, people going into help desk first and then transition into security?
Yeah. So that was again, I don't want to sound like I'm trying to edge myself here,
Mhm.
but it used to be just like that. When you just getting started, you will start with the help desk, right? Because cybersecurity, it's a new field, and there's a lot of things that they're still figuring out. But starting with the help desk, you cannot go wrong with that. The only thing that I'll tell anybody, and this is what I told myself, is you got to have like the 6 months career plan. If you're going to start with the help desk, but your goal is to get into security, give yourself a 6 months. You get hired in help desk, stay there for 6 months. With that 6 months, you are learning. Right? You're not working, you're learning. You're learning as much as you can eat on the job, and then hopefully you've been picking up some other security training and hands-on and stuff on the side as well. Then after that 6 months, you should be looking at what they have in security for that department or for that role. And if there's no room to grow, then that's when you got to start looking elsewhere as well. So again, starting with the help desk, it's always a nice idea. I've seen people getting into cybersecurity without stepping a foot in the help desk. But remember, when it comes to security, we're securing the basics, right? We're securing hardware, we're securing software. Uh, you don't have to have worked with these things to know them, but it kind of a help if you got that experience.
Oh, oh, yeah, that's true. So they don't have to start help desk, but help desk does have some skills, foundational skills, right? Like Kevin said, help desk is one way, but there are others.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. When it comes to security, and I tell students this all the time when I'm teaching, is that there are four things you actually need to do when you're securing anything. First of all, because security is different from a company to a company. This whole idea of we can teach you security, we can give you like the guidelines, the framework. But as far as securing anything, it's going to be different from company A to company B, right? So what those four things, it's like what is critical for your company, right? That criticality is different from a company to a company. So when you want to secure anything, you got to find out what is critical for that company, who have access to it, who should have access to it, and
Mhm.
where is located, right? So those are the four questions that if you're going to be securing anything, you want to kind of a focus on. So help desk, where help desk comes in, it's in who has access to it. Because when you're doing help desk, Hopefully you are resetting passwords. You are setting it up, kind of helping people getting access to things and stuff, of that nature. So you've done that already. So that's why a lot of people say, "Oh, start with the help desk." With the help desk, it's because of exactly just that. Another thing I should mention, then I see again, I have some points here, is that when you look at the I think it's CIS. The CIS top. They used to call them top 20. Top now is top 18. Security controls. One of the things that they talk about is when you're securing anything, and companies that do this, they win. When you're securing anything, you got to start with the hardware, then you start with the software. So you got to know your hardware, then you know your software.
Mm.
That's what help desk do.
Right.
They do inventory of your hardware, inventory of your software. Tons of the issues that we've had is because we don't even know what we have in our environment. Then you will never secure the thing that you don't know or exist.
That is great advice. Gina said, "Are we about to run a weekend cyber foundation course?" I'm getting that vibe. Oh, good vibe, Gina. I think Francois has one coming up. What you want a shameless plug your boot camp?
Yeah. Actually, there's one that I've been working on for the community. If there's a traction, then I'm just gonna get out of my comfort zone and start doing that. Uh, but it's just like getting started in cybersecurity, the foundation, like the core knowledge that you need, the core skills that you need. Right. This is pre-security plus pre anything. Right. Like the skills that you need to kind of a jumpstart your career in cybersecurity. So I've been working on that. If there's a traction, we're just gonna put that out there.
Awesome. And also, I have a Security Plus free, and this is all free, guys. I have a Security Plus on Saturday that I do to help everybody navigate the confusing parts of Security Plus.
Yeah.
And when does your weekend Cyber Foundation course? When does that start?
So that should start next month. I think
Okay.
you should in my LinkedIn. If folks stay in touch, they're gonna see that all over on social media.
Okay. Good. Yep. I shared your LinkedIn. Yeah. Thank you, Gina, for that, for bringing that up. And yes, it will be online. Gina asked, it will be online. Yeah, most definitely.
Absolutely.
Right. Since COVID, we put everything online first, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. We put everything online first, and then we think about having the face-to-face classes.
Oh yeah.
So now, I'm a truck driver, right? Truck driving, maybe it hurts my back or whatever situation. I want to be close to my family. I don't want to travel as much. So I hear this cybersecurity. I hear about cybersecurity. I have friends. I know Gina. I hear Gina talk about it, right? What do I do what should I do now? Because I search it, you tell me Google, right? Google's my friend, but Google gives me 1 million results,
Yeah.
right? Google's too much of a friend. What do I do? What do you suggest is the first thing I do to get into this big, enormous field?
Yeah. So I will say I'll kind of repeat the same stuff that we've said already. Will be start slow and start with the basics, with the foundation. Um, Often, you know, people that are getting started, they start looking at these rock stars, these things that are doing malware, and they're writing malware, they're doing penetration testing, they're doing all these amazing stuff. Then you start to be like, oh God, when am I gonna be like that? Where am I gonna be get to learn that stuff? So put
Mhm.
all that on the side. Start slow, and I call this like master the foundation, master the basics, right? Because what I've seen in security, that's all we're securing. We're securing the foundation. We're securing the basics. Let those people that are reversing engineering malware, let them do that, right? You just start slow and start with the basics, but also find someone who can hold your hand or who can guide you to the whole process.
Oh,
The You said that Google is a too much of a friend, and that's very true because
it got too much, talks too much.
yeah, right. So you got to kind of see right now we are in someone mentioned that we live in information overload. So everybody's giving out a
Uh,
device. Everybody's giving out devices, right? You open up social media, everybody is telling you what you should be doing and why you do what's this, what's that. Some of these folks, they don't know what they're talking about, or they have never lived it, right? So maybe they've heard it from somebody else. So I would say find a mentor, find somebody who can hold your hand, somebody who been there, who done that, who can tell you, hey, look, this is A, this is B, this is C, do it. That's what I did. That's how I did it. There was a guy, he's from Liberia. He was in the industry for about 30 some years. He's the one who introduced me into cybersecurity after finishing my bachelor's. He was like, look, cybersecurity is where everything is going. Right? You got to focus on this. And I'm like, okay, just tell me what you want me to do. Then he was like, okay, first of all, let's get a master's degree. I'm like, got it. Second, let's get this certification. I'm like, got it. Right. Third, let's focus on these hands. And I'm like, got it. So find a mentor because Google will just tell you all kinds of stuff. And some of those things, you don't know who's saying what.
right, right.
Yeah, and I see here, Gina said find a mentor.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
absolutely, right.
find a mentor.
Right. Gina's on fire right now.
That's good.
And from Jupiter. She's from Jupiter.
Oh, Jupiter,
Yeah.
friends of Cisco.
Yes, I'm going to friend Gina. We're gonna be friends, Gina. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, find a mentor, I think is like you said, is the best advice. You had a mentor that helped you navigate through what was you before you got into cyber? What was you doing?
yeah. So before I got into cyber, so lucky me, I had a mentor right when I was in college. So when I had to just start doing help desk, that's when I was like, okay, what do I need to do with how you ask that question? What do I need to do with my life? And
And you Googled it and it said cyber?
you can't Google that, right? Google is just gonna give you the basic information. But so I know this guy. He was one of the instructor at the college that I was attending. So I got closer. I'm originally from Africa. He's from Africa, so it was just easy to link up. Um, so we start talking, uh, you know, life stuff and career stuff. I got to know him, and he got to know me. And one thing that he said to me time and time again was that when I see you, I see myself when I was younger. Right? I was hungry, but I didn't have the direction. Right? I didn't have the person to point me to the right um, direction. So I want to say right when in college, as soon as I finished with college, I had all that mentorship. So I started focusing on security right after college. But right now, it's a lot easier, right? You don't have to have a physical mentor. Like I said, I went that extra mile. I reached out to people that were working on, Metasploit people. I reached out to anybody that I Google it. I think they can give me a device. I'll reach out to them on LinkedIn. Be like,
Mm,
hey, I'm doing this. How can you help? I've even had a people from the SANS Institute. For those who doesn't know SANS, it's a great university, not university. It's a great cybersecurity training institute. They have the best of the best instructor, the best training. So I reach out to these guys, and these are like the best of the best at the top. These are the people that do training for the government, right? So I reach out to them. I remember some of them giving me 30 minutes of their time. Be like, okay, I'm gonna schedule some time with you. and let's talk about your career. So as I'm talking to them, I'll ask them all kind of questions. If you were to get started, what are the things you could do? What could you do different than what you did? What like open-ended question, to get them open up and they tell you everything that they should be telling you. So find a mentor.
Right, right, definitely. And Kevin said define what you like to do: offensive work, defense work, policy work, right? And that's what a mentor would do. Oh, I got a question from, I hope I'm saying her name right. Monicute. Monicute. Francois, how do you pronounce her name?
I think it's Money Quest. I don't know.
Oh, Monicust. All right.
Money
She
Quest.
said,
Money Quest. I don't know. My
okay.
apology.
Yes, I do. Do any of you know of any available mentors that we can connect with? Oh, good question, right? So we're saying find a mentor. You Google it and you don't find any, right? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna call you Moni, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, when it comes to mentors, there's tons of different organizations. I think Roger can drop some of them. Roger have, what do you have? Roger is,
Black Girls Hack,
yeah,
right?
where like he's doing stuff for the community. And
Oh
I
yeah,
know
yeah,
Roger and I, we used to basically just do one-on-ones, just schedule time with
yeah,
us. We will do our resume review, all that stuff for free. So it's a matter of going online. It's just like right now, after this, you're like, hey, Francois, I need you to help me with this. I'll be like, okay,
yeah,
let's spend some time, we'll do it. Right. So just find the people that you feel like you trust, or you can take their advices and do something about it. Right.
yeah,
There's there's another thing. See, it's not because you don't know what to do. It's more like, are you doing it? Right? Because even the stuff that we're talking about, Google is too much of a friend. There's some devices that you get on Google. If you do them, it will take you places. So find a mentor, but be that person who is ready, open-minded, who's willing to do what they're asked to do.
right, right, exactly. Yeah, and a lot of these organizations have mentors like me and Francois. Anthony is a mentor. Kevin is a mentor. That will definitely, like us, that definitely will help, especially helping, people that have a disadvantage to get into this field.
Yeah, yeah, and Anthony, that's great, right? Black Girls Hack, uh, you know, Cyber Jitsu. There's all kinds of stuff.
Right. Kevin said one thing: take a personality test. You might find the work you want to do is not where you shine best. I took a personality test and it said I should be a food taster. Right.
Ooh.
So I'm looking for a food tester job, 6 figures, and just bring the food to me. A remote work. Yeah.
Yeah, dream
So
come true.
Kevin's right. But in the meanwhile, I'm working cybersecurity
Hmm.
until until I can get that job.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So we have about 5 minutes left, Francois. It's been a great uh, hour. You gave so much information, right? You're giving out T-shirts to the host. That's great, man. This is a great session here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anybody has any questions for Francois before we close out? And also, Francois, while they're doing that, any closing remarks you might have for all those out there trying to be like you, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would tell you this: cybersecurity is the right place to be. Right. I think it was Kevin who said a personality test. Cyber is very diverse. That no matter what you enjoy doing, you will find it in cyber. I always just say that. Right. It's like when you say cyber, it's like saying healthcare. Like, what do you want to do in cyber? So you just need to understand the basics and then dig deeper into the area that interests you the most. and be patient as you're doing that. A few years ago, I was that impatient, person where I wanted this, I want it now. Uh, but as you're going through it, be patient. You're getting these rejections, be patient. Usually, you will break in, and once you do, you'll forget all those rejections.
Oh, that's great. That's great advice. Um, Moni said, great information. Thank you. Anybody else has any closing remarks to Francois before we shut it down? That's good. And again, thank you, Francois, for coming. This was very informative, right? You gave hope to those that are breaking in, and they look at the market and they hear all this bad noise, you know, all this the negative noise. You brought hope. Um, you also told everyone a clear-cut way to break in, because there's so many ways to, and you hear so much advice out there. So I'm glad you kind of cleared that up. So before we leave, Francois, anything you want to plug?
Well, I want to say thank you for coming. You being here, it shows you're passionate about this stuff. There's other things you could be doing, but you're here listening to us. So keep doing what you're doing. Sooner or later, you're gonna land that job. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So thank you again. Thank you, Francois, for coming. Thank you for everybody for your great comments and participation in the chat. Gina had the chat on fire. I didn't know people from Jupiter was that involved. And so I thank you guys for coming. Patricia said very informative. So you guys have a nice weekend, and we are going to end it here.
Thank you, Raja. Thank you for
Yes,
having me.
no problem. Goodbye.